All right, this is my first with my first podcast. Kind of winging it, just kind of testing. This is got my little outfit on, but what I would like to address is first off, Michigan has rivals, Michigan State and Ohio State, and you keep using the Connor Stallions bullshit um, to cry about your losses. First off, let me start here. I'm 34, and I lived pretty much 20 years of Ohio State kicking our ass every year. You want to know what I never did, except one time? I never said you guys were cheating, except in 2016 because you did. The refs blatantly cheated for you, and Harbaugh could have won a national championship in his second year. But we can watch that spot over and over, and the refs smacking your players on the ass. We all know the refs cheated for you guys. But anyways, I don't care because you guys went to the next game, got your ass kicked. Let me just kind of be clear to Ohio State podcasters. Please don't send me death threats. I have a lot of respect for your football program, just not a lot of respect for your podcasting fan base that pretty much was telling everyone to go burn down Ann Arbor because of Connor Stallions last year. And wow. I'll tell you exactly why you guys keep losing to Michigan. I watch it religiously. Starting in 2021, Michigan's offensive line has straight up pushed your defensive line right down the field. So to kind of say that Connor Stallions are some sort of fucking cheating, sign stealing bullshit is why you lost. It's just from a football standpoint, it's just wrong. Okay. And let's go back to last year when you guys were 25-point favorites or something. Watch the highlights. You want to know why you lost that game? Your offensive line could not block Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant and Ernest Hausman and Jashawn Barham. The whole game. You know why? Because your team is soft. Ryan Day focuses on flashy wide receivers, and your defensive line and offensive line are soft. And that's why Michigan is probably going to beat you guys for the fifth straight time. So, out of respect for the rivalry, stop saying that Michigan cheated. Stop saying that Harbaugh cheated. How can you even say that when Connor Stallions wasn't even on the sidelines the last 2 years, and you pretty much lost? I mean, you lost to a walk-on last year. You think they're gonna vacate wins? God, what? You guys live in a fantasy land. And like I said, I lived through the Terrell Pryor years where you guys just kicked our ass year after year, but I never said you guys cheated. And I had to listen to Jim Tressel with Mr. Every team we play is great. What do we beat them? 75-0? Oh, they're a great team though. I like Jim Tressel. He was a man, he was respectable. And I grew up watching Lloyd Carr, and Jim Tressel had Lloyd Carr's number, but I never said Jim Tressel was cheating. Okay. So, man, you guys sound like a bunch of sore losers, and a lot of it's coming from people that don't know shit about football. You're just saying stuff that you're reading online. Watch the highlights. Last year, especially, you could not block Mason Graham. That is why you lost that game. Mason Graham and Kenneth Graham, they broke through the offensive line all game. Wink Martindale just totally outcoached you guys because you're soft. You're soft. Okay. And your coach Ryan Day still bringing up Harbaugh. It's petty and pathetic, man. He didn't run away. I understand why he ran away. He doesn't. The NCAA has it out for Michigan for some reason, and it's not because they cheat. It's because they hate us because they ain't us. Okay. And there's a history of it, and I guess that's all I have to say at you Ohio State fans, and even you former players that are buying into this Connor Stallions, they're going to vacate wins. I watch your podcast, and you think you're, especially the second year, what was it? 2022, when Donovan Edwards just broke through the line, you just got out coached and your players got blocked. And you just keep making excuses that somehow Connor Stallions is this great signal stealer, even though they are all doing it on some level. Maybe Connor Stallions was good at it, but they were all doing it. And you just got out physically manhandled by a tougher team. Just own it. Why don't you tell Ryan Day to quit his bitching about Jim Harbaugh and tell his defensive line coach to tell them to toughen up? Because I'm telling you, it's going to happen again this year. And all you guys bashing Bryce Underwood, I was at the spring game. I watched him the whole time. You want to know why his numbers were bad? Because he has to play against that Michigan defensive line that beat Alabama, and pretty much without Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, they still beat Alabama. That's who Bryce Underwood has to practice against. Okay, this defensive line that's going to blow up your, that's going to go through your offensive line again because your team is too soft. You guys are too soft. And Michigan State, you're in my. The same applies. You guys were winning all those years, and you guys got that muff punt, the worst possible way, the worst loss I've ever experienced. And your fan base was really cool about it. But I never said you guys were cheating. And the reason why it's toxic now is because of Mark D'Antonio. Okay, in 2018, he let his players hit the Michigan players before the game, and he was laughing about it. It's all on Mark D'Antonio. Okay, he's got that little brother mindset. Okay, and it is what it is. Michigan. I like your new coach. He got pretty much blindsided. Your athletic department didn't tell him how important the Michigan game was, but Michigan's probably going to blow you out this year for sure. Bryce Underwood's probably going to have 500 total yards against you guys. But maybe I'm wrong. And I know a lot of Michigan State fans that I really like. And Michigan, you guys follow Valenti on 97 Ticket. He's like, oh, Michigan fans are called. Oh, you guys are all the same. It just makes me sick. And he always brings up like the most negative shit about Michigan, the Anderson case back. Yeah, and bad, but it's a big institution, and the program has repaid the victims. And he always nitpicks and always tries to like say that, oh, this big thing's coming for Michigan. They're going to vacate wins. No, you're just bitter that Michigan State's not going to ever go 15-0. Okay, Valenti's really good at his job, and like to have an argument with him, it would be tough. But I mean, I know Michigan football. Like I could argue with him why Michigan has beaten both your asses. It's because they have better fucking athletes, man. And coming up this year, Michigan's two linebackers are going to be All-American. Ernest Hausman and Barham are just going to tear up the Big Ten. You guys aren't going to be able to block them. And you're not going to have any excuses this year. Sharon Moore is going to outcoach everyone. We have Wink Martindale. We got Makari Page, who's going to lay people out. And I just really look forward to watching Michigan beat both Michigan State and Ohio State's ass this year. You guys have Jeremiah Smith. That's about it. And we have Wink Martindale. And I know Ohio State has the athletes, but you don't have the athletes Michigan has. You guys you're soft. You're soft. Okay. So quit. You keep having this fantasy that, Michigan's going to have wins vacated. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I would be pretty annoyed with that 14-2 national championship too. You guys lost to the champs. A better football team beat you that day. They totally manhandled you guys. Connor Stallions wasn't on the sideline. Okay. Yeah, I know you Buckeye fans are nuts, and I respect Ohio State. My family is huge Ohio State fans, but some of you podcasters live in a fucking fantasy land. Okay. You just need to accept that you guys lost because Michigan manhandled you and you guys are soft. And Ryan Day, Ryan Day's kind of a whiny little bitch when he brings up Harbaugh. Okay. Harbaugh went to the NFL. He brought a national championship to Michigan. He went to the NFL. He's not running away, especially not running away from Ryan Day. Ryan Day needs to shut up and just coach his team because his team is soft. Okay, if you guys think Jeremiah Smith is going to beat Michigan's defense, it's not going to happen. Okay. Yeah, I mean that you guys may think this is a biased opinion, but I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it just sucks that the Michigan and Michigan State rivalry is so toxic in this state, but it all started with Mark D'Antonio. Okay, maybe it started with Mike Hart and he called you guys little brother. Oh, okay, big fucking deal. Get over it. But having your coach letting his players hit players before the game, and and with that little smirk on his face, watch the highlight. That's why Devin Bush started stomping on the field. And, then Michigan State got their ass kicked that game. And I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. I can tell you Michigan's defensive line, Derek Moore, Rashawn Benny, TJ Guy, these guys are going to be tough for you guys to block, Ohio State. So quit with your excuses and maybe try to block them, but you're not going to be able to because their two linebackers, Barham and Hausman, are going to be All-American, and you're going to lose for the 5th straight year, and Bryce Underwood's going to run all over you. And I just can't wait to watch it because, I cannot wait to watch you guys cry for another year and enjoy that asterisk with your national championship because nobody is cradled more by the system than Ohio State. Nobody, not Michigan. You guys wouldn't have won a national championship any other year. Okay. Look, I'm an independent guy. I try to talk to the Wolverine.com people. They have podcasts all the time. They don't like me for some reason because they don't want to talk about what I want to talk about. They just, first off, I never played football, but they're intelligent people. But I guarantee you, I watch the games more religiously, and I know I played football. And this is my first podcast. I'm just kind of ranting, but I would like feedback, but I don't need death threats. We can talk football. If you want to talk football, we can talk football. If you want to be a fucking nut job from Columbus, then I don't want anything to do with you. Okay, it's just a fucking game, but Michigan's been better the past 5 years, and I had to live through you guys being better for 20 years with Terrell Pryor and Jim Tressel and all that bullshit. But yeah. But as far as Michigan State and their fan base and like Valenti, man, it's just Spartan hate radio on 97.1 The Ticket sometimes, man. And it's just Valenti and like Rico's not he's not as good as Valenti. Valenti does his homework. He knows what he's talking about, but he nitpicks. Okay, he nitpicks. I mean, I already said this, but he talks about like Anderson and stuff. You want me to nitpick about Michigan State? Mark D'Antonio had players gang rape a woman, and he didn't do anything. MSU didn't do anything to him, okay? Why don't you talk about that, Valenti? Okay, you don't talk about that. You're just a jealous Spartan fan. Look, I didn't go to U of M. My whole family went there, so I'm just a Walmart Wolverine, but I watch every game religiously. And I think it sucks that it's so toxic in the state. I really don't think they should play each other anymore because it's that toxic. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to wear Michigan stuff to interviews because if it's a Michigan State person doing the hiring, they will not hire me because I root for Michigan. Okay. and it's just ridiculous. I'm sorry that my father went to Michigan and I grew up watching good football. I watched Lloyd Carr, who was like the most honorable man ever. I watched Charles Woodson. I watched Chris Perry. And yeah, but I just hope some of the podcasts, I hope I would like to go on Ohio State podcast. I'll do my homework first. And I'll tell you, what I just said. And I'll show you replay after replay that you couldn't block Mason Graham the whole game last year. Okay? It wasn't because of Connor Allens. It's because you guys can't block. Okay? All right. I guess that's it. Go Blue. Hey, it's been like, 2,000 days since the Buckeyes beat Michigan? That sucks. Damn.